Okay, here we are, qualifying, 20 drivers, 30 minutes. There's going to be a lot to see here.
Hello guys, Turbocharged 51 over here! I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, jumping straight into qualifying for episode 6 of our F2 2019. I would call it a journey more than a career. I've made that mistake in previous videos to call it a career, but this is a journey. Heading through the first quarter here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria for the Austrian F2 weekend. You guys can see we're very close. We're actually P6 at right behind suggested that camera. Later to the brakes for T3 here at Austria. It's the shortest lap on the F1 and F2 calendar. The quickest lap, not the shortest. The quickest lap when it comes to time, but when it comes to length, Monaco is the shortest lap on the calendar. But now braking very hard into T4. As you guys see, we are on the gearboxes of the first few guys, but that hairpin is just such a corner where the AI they just get the perfect amount of grip and the perfect line through there, and I really struggle with that hairpin. Now through T5, heading into T6, bouncing the car over the outside curb, taking a wide as possible entry line. We unfortunately have to jump through the next corner with the replay being wonky, the recording being wonky. Now through the final 9th corner of the track, open up the RS now, and we head to the line, and it's going to be P!
So qualifying is complete, and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top 3 are Sette Camara, De Vries, and Luca Giotto. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow, where we'll be live with all the action, and until then, goodbye. Here we are amidst the dense forest and rolling hills of Spielberg in Austria, just 2 hours out of Vienna. It's an amazing destination for the race today, and we're about to get started. Spielberg is a very short lap, one of the shortest we'll see in this Formula 2 championship. 7 rights and 3 lefts make up the 10 corners of the circuit. The left-hand kink of turn 2, leading into the uphill braking of turn 3, represents another overtake hotspot. In the commentary box for the big race today, I'm Alex Jakes, and joining me once again, it's Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as well as being the 2012 GP2 champion, you also have experience as a test driver in F1. What would you say are the biggest differences for people fresh to the world of F2?
Well, Alex, I think it's an exciting time in Formula 2 right now. For spectators, a lot of excitement comes from all the drivers being in the same car. That puts the emphasis on driver skills, meaning lots of overtakes, which means exciting race for us.
We are nearly ready for the start of today's race, but in the meantime, let's take a look at the grid. A fantastic effort from Sergio Sette Camara yesterday puts him on pole position, with Nick De Vries slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Giotto, Hubert, Nicholas Latifi, and Schumacher, Delatraz, King, Matsushita, Guan Yu Zhou, Galeo, Aitken, Dorian Boccalacci, and Mazepin.
You should have some space going into the first corner, so try to keep it tidy.
There we go. Sorry guys for skipping out on the driver's preview. There was a little bit of a wonky recording, but please enjoy the formation lap, and you guys know the drill by now. Jam with me! ready for the F2 weekend here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria as we head to 5 red light. And it's go, go, go for the feature race here in Austria. Nick de Vries and Sergio Santecamera get a great launch over the front row, but it's Sergio Santecamera who has the best run. Luca Giotto tries to go around the outside of Nick de Vries as I get squabbled there by 2 cars around my inside and my outside, but I defend my P4 as now we are trying to chase after Giotto and Nick de Vries. Giotto gets past Nick de Vries for P2, but will de Vries try a lunge back here up into P2? No, he stays right behind Giotto and he leaves the door open for me to get a beautiful run through the third corner. Now I've got the power advantage because I had the better exit coming out of the third corner. So now we're heading down to the hairpin section where these guys are a little bit stronger than me. I'm late to the brakes, going for a dive up the inside. Go, stop car. Oh, thank goodness. I really felt the cold brakes there, guys. Oh, that was very, very close. And now Nick de Vries is under pressure from the second Dabs car of Nicholas Latifi. The other Dabs car, it's Santecamera, is leading the way. So guys, as we head to the end of the first lap, it is Santecamera leading the way from Giotto in P2, myself driving as Antoine Hubert in P3, Nick de Vries P4, and Nicholas Latifi in P5. Now heading through the final 2 quarters. I have to say, the 2019 Dabs car really has a nice livery. I really like that. The Uni Virtuosi, not so much. Obviously, you guys know how I feel about the Arden iDrive. I'm not a fan of pink. But the Dabs car really looks nice. I have to say that. It really looks nice. But guys, now we jump on to lap 3. And this is Nick de Vries actually behind me, who I wasn't able to shake before we got into the DRS stage of the race. So now you guys see he's going for a move around the outside where I got my move basically planned from on the first lap. But I've got the exit and actually neither me or de Vries has DRS. That's actually really weird. Only Latifi had DRS, so that's actually very, very weird. But we will never know what is going on there, so that's not the end of the world. But in any case, guys, we are still side by side now, heading into the very tight second sector, where the first left-hander is in the second sector, the second one is in the third sector. So we give de Vries a little bit of a squeeze heading through there. That's a very hard corner to run side by side with. Now we look on to the beginning of lap 6, I think this is actually, and you guys can see Nick de Vries is still right up underneath my gearbox. I'm trying to take esports lines through these corners, but it is just so hard. And yeah, Nick de Vries' AI is just so good at maintaining pace and keeping up with someone. So now you guys see he has got the move done before we get to the corner, but because I'm on a lower top speed, I can be late onto the brakes. I squeeze him onto the outside curb, and now I will have DRS for the following straight, but we do not need to see that because I obviously defended my position very successfully. And guys, now we head to the end of lap 6 if I'm not mistaken, as we dive into the pit lane. You guys know my F2 strategy, almost to the one that I never break. It is the undercut strategy, to be the first car in and out of the pit lane. That is the best way to get good results with these F2 cars, with them being such cars that wear their tires so heavily, especially their front tires. You guys see we are going out of the pit lane, and at the end of the very next lap, and it was lap 6, because this is lap 7 where the race leader Sergio Santecamera is diving into the pit lane. I can see Luca Giotto is staying out for another lap. Let's see if actually Nick de Vries does the same like he usually does to stay out an extra lap. There goes Nick de Vries on your right hand side. So de Vries is definitely staying out. But Santecamera, damn, him and Giotto has pulled a massive lead over the rest of us. So I think Santecamera is going to have a fairly easy and quick pit stop here without any struggles. And he is going to be held out by the Prema of Mick Schumacher. But that is basically all. It wasn't a major hold up, but still, you don't really want to be held up here in the pit lane. As you guys now see Mick Schumacher, he is coming out of the pit lane with this very bright green and yellow helmet. Coming out of the pit lane, you guys will see me there. I am on the outside of the first corner, taking the esports line, and I am still in P3 at this stage. Well, net P3, because there's still a big group of cars that hasn't pit yet. Here we go on to the end of lap 8. And now these guys are going to start piling into the pit lane. Luca Giotto, who inherited the race lead from Santecamera, is now diving it into the pit lane. Has the overcut work for Giotto? Or are the new tires on the Dabs car of Santecamera just been too strong for Giotto to gain anything on Santecamera? We'll see now. The Uni Virtuosi team is out of the pit lane. Come on, guys. Quick stop, quick stop, quick stop. And it's... oh, he's getting held up by de Vries and Latifi, as well as the Matsushita. and Sean Galale. That was a 5-car hold up for Paul Giotto, and I think, guys, that has maybe cost him the time that he needed to gain on Sete Camera. That is heartbreaking for Luca Giotto in the blue, yellow and black Uni Virtuosi car. Yeah, guys, look at the gap there. That has absolutely ruined Giotto's race. That actually, I feel bad for him. You guys can see I actually gained on him with the pit stop phases thanks to that. But I think that with him being on fresher tires, he's going to try to chase down Sete Camera in the race lead. You guys can see Mick Schumacher has inherited P4 with Louis Delatraz and Guan Yu Zhou having a little bit of a scrap over P5 and P6. So that is Carlin versus Uni Virtuosi. I see there in there, this is 5th and 6th. 7th place back there is Jack Aitken, I'm pretty sure. It's either him or Dorian Boccolacci. But there we go. Guan Yu Zhou is up into P5, Louis Delatraz P6. Jack Aitken is definitely P7. It's the number 15 car. Yes, it is Jack Aitken. Then it is Sean Galale. How is Nick de Vries? That's not even Nick de Vries. That's Nikita Mazepin in P9 with Dorian Boccolacci in P10. Where's Nick de Vries? What happened to Nick de Vries? Okay, I'm not gonna start asking questions, but seriously, what happened to poor Nick de Vries? In any case, guys, we head up all the way to lap 19. I really had a lonely second stint there, but as you guys can see, we are under pressure from Mick Schumacher. He has a massive block up there on the outside of us. As you guys see, we're going to give him the squeeze onto the curb, just like Max Verstappen did to Charles Leclerc in the real-life 2019 Austrian Grand Prix. Unlike Max, I did not make contact. But in any case, this is a very, very tight race, and now you guys can see Louis Delatraz has also joined the fray here. So this is going to be an Arden v Prema v Carlin fight for the final spot on the podium. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, we've got 1.5 lap to go. And yeah, my tires were really falling off the cliff. That's the only problem with my type of strategy. When I go for the undercuts and I pit 2 laps earlier or a lap earlier, my tires are the most worn on track when it comes to the final 2 or 3 laps of the Grand Prix. So that's why I'm always under pressure come the end of the Grand Prix. But usually the gains are so good that those 2 or 3 laps you just have to just stick with it and bite the bullet. Because if you give up, your undercut is just down the drain. But in case you guys see, heading into the first corner, Schumacher tries to move on me again. He forces me over the inside curb. So unfortunately, that was a natural squeeze, not an intended squeeze onto the outside curb. And now Louis Delatraz is trying to make a move on Schumacher. He's even late to the brakes, trying to make a move on me. They're heading into this third corner hairpin. That was a very, very ballsy move from Louis Delatraz, but I think I held up Schumacher there when we went through T1. So that has promoted Louis Delatraz all the way up into P3, P4, I'm at P3, and he is still very hungry. And now even, guys, if this race was literally 2 laps longer, you would have had Jack Aitken also joining in the fight there. But guys, Sergio Sete Camera has driven an absolutely dominant race, and there's nothing that anybody has been able to do. Nobody has had an answer for him today, and at this stage, Sete Camera is definitely my biggest championship rival, just like he was in the 2018 F2 season. He comes through the final corner to cross the line to win the feature race here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Luca Giotto crosses the line for P2, a brilliant race for Uni Virtuosi, and we are going to hold up by the tip of our fingers onto P3, but this is a solid P3 here in Austria at the Red Bull Ring.
So another fantastic victory for Dams today. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
The difference was in the strategy. Credit to the driver for sure, but races like this really drive home how much of a team sport this is. They did a lot of work on the pit wall to really make the most of each stint and to make the best use of these tires. But that said, all of that would have been for nothing without a talented hand on the wheel.
And I can see our drivers making their way out now. It's been a sublime team performance, and it's the culmination of a lot of hard work. Dams are your winners today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. The gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race for our championship leader. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
I'm going to say Jack Aitken. It was probably one of his best drivers of the season, and I was impressed.
On to the teams then. Dams move further ahead at the top of the standings. Meanwhile, Prema have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way to the top. Goodbye for now then. But we really are just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow. We're returning after yesterday's feature race for the final event of the weekend, the sprint. Down on the grid below us, the drivers are spending their last few minutes getting ready. Very soon, they're going to kick this race off in dramatic fashion. I'm not the only one sitting here today who's looking forward to today's race. My friend and ex-GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi next to me is already on the edge of his seat awaiting the start of the event. How's it going today?
Hello there, Alex. I'm great, thank you, and very excited to get started. I have a feeling we are in for a very special event today.
Right, let's be patient going into turn 1. We want to be in a good position for the rest of the race. Good luck.
Guys, after a very, very hyped feature race, starting from P6 on the grid for the sprint race, I think we've got the pace this weekend here at Austria to really make a good stride with the championship. We are already so far ahead, guys. I would like the championship to be more contested, but at this stage it just looks like we've got the pace over the other drivers, and we've got the pace very strong over the other drivers. And guys, I'm driving this championship on 110 AI. I'm driving it on max AI. So, and it's not been the most smooth season thus far. If you guys remember back to Baku, I didn't even finish the sprint race. That was absolutely terrible. But in any case, guys, with the explosion underway, we head to 5 red lights for the final time this weekend here in Austria. And it's go, go, go for the sprint race here with Sean Galale on the front row with Guan Yu Zhou. It is Jack Aitken there in P3, Mick Schumacher in P4, Louis Delatraz is in P5. As I go for a massive dive up the inside of Mick Schumacher, he leaves me no space whatsoever. I'm past Louis Delatraz, so I've got myself up into P5, but I'm still behind the Prema of Mick Schumacher. As we head up the hill into T3, Louis Delatraz has a look on my inside, but I block him off and go for the move on Schumacher, who once again forces me to bounce over the inside curb, and I give him a little bit of payback there by having him to bounce over the outside curb. But guys, look at the replay here of our start. We have a very good initial start, but the car bogs in first gear, actually not second gear. I didn't give enough power to the wheels. As soon as I caught grip, I completely lost all my revs. But heading to the first corner, you guys can see that was a little bit of an opportunistic move. I was in Schumacher's blind spot there, so that actually wasn't his fault to force me over the inside curb. Luckily, it was just a little bit of wheel banging, nothing too serious. And heading up the hill, it's just I had his slipstream, and when I saw Delatraz going for the move on the inside, I immediately covered him off. As you guys see, we have a little bit of a skid coming out of the hairpin, but we get the run on Schumacher, and now we've got only 3 cars ahead of us. Let's see if we have the pace to stick with these guys. Heading into the hairpin corner, you guys can see I'm trying to be as soft as possible on these tires. Remember, in the sprint race, there are no pit stops. You have to, the tires you start the race on, you have to go to the end. You can go for a pit stop if you want to, but in F2 the pit stops are so much longer than F1. You will not gain anything with a shorter race distance as well as a longer pit stop. So the best strategy is save your tires in the beginning and push at the end as much as you can, or the other way around. But usually if you can't defend at the end and the other drivers have saved their tires, you are really in a big pickle. So as you guys see here, this is Sean Galale rounding the final corner to end the first lap. He's got a couple across the line, leading the way from Guan Yu Zhou for Univirtuosi Racing in P2. It is Jack Aitken for Campos Racing P3 and myself for Arden in P4, driving as Antoine Hubert. You guys say, oh, sorry for that, for the wonky replay there. You guys see, as I go for a move on Aitken, Guan Yu Zhou goes for a move on Sean Sean Galale. So it's two by two going through that hairpin corner. We get the move done on Jack Aitken, so that's us up into the podium once again. And now we are right behind Guan Yu Zhou as he slots in ahead of the Prema of Sean Galale. We try to go around the outside, but actually just misjudge our braking point. And now we are back under pressure from Aitken. Luckily, we just get our Arden back ahead of him. But that was really stressful, to say the least about it, guys. That was really... I nearly lost P3 there again. So I really need to watch out for my braking zone heading into that hairpin. It's a downhill braking zone. So it's really, really hard on the brakes. And if you are too late on the brakes, you are going straight into the gravel trap. Or at least running majorly wide. But you guys see, heading into the hairpin once again. I had DRS on Sean Galale, who had DRS on Guan Yu Zhou. But I had a much better second corner exit. And now it's us back up into P2. Guys, can we make it a double podium this weekend here in Austria as we head up all the way into lap 11 of 14? Heading through the first corner, you guys can see I take a very, very tight line actually through there. Zhou compromised my line. I did have a look on him, so I actually compromised my own line. I should not give Zhou the blame for that. But as you guys see, heading up the hill, we gain massively on him. We are late into the brakes. He leaves the outside wide open. We are on the outside. He's not squeezing us onto the curb. Get the drive. Have DRS, open up the rear wing. And there's nothing that Zhou can do, guys. We've got three and a half laps to go. And all we have to do is keep this Virtuosi car behind us. The very, very talented Chinese driver. Let's see if we can keep Guan Yu Zhou behind us. We've only got 3 laps to go. This is not going to be an easy challenge. I know Zhou has got pace in this Virtuosi car. Heading into the first quarter, guys, as we start. I think this is actually lap 13 or 14, so we've got 2 laps to go. Heading to the first corner. I get a good run there, but guys, remember, all the F2 cars are exactly the same. And as soon as one has DRS and the other does not, you've got an immense amount of overspeed. As you guys see, before we even are into the corner, Zhou passed me. But I'm later onto the brakes. We are side by side through the corner. And we will have DRS as we go through down the hill. Because through the detection zone, Zhou already passed me. So that is us still defending P1. And guys, this is going to be absolutely awesome. Heading into the hairpin once again, Zhou is under pressure from Sean Galale once again. Sean tries to go around the outside with his Prema, but to no avail. Zhou gives him a very, very hard squeeze there to the outside. And guys, that was absolutely brilliant. I think this might actually be the last lap now that I think about it, because I see we are running through the entirety of the lap. Let's see, guys. I think we're going to jump back to our POV right now. But okay, I'm gonna play it safe and just say this is the final lap, guys. Zhou goes for his final attempt, but there's nothing he can do. We round the final corner. Thank goodness it is the final lap. Guys, we're going to take a second podium and the win for the sprint race. Get in there, lad.
Great drive. We did it. Good job.
Here's our winner pulling their Arden into Parc Ferme then. What a fantastic race. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
It was down to one thing: consistent pace over everyone else out there on the track. We could spend a great deal of time talking about race and tire strategy, what has occurred on the track, but at the end of the day, the difference here was down to simply being faster on track than everyone else. Amazing skill on show.
As they make their way down to the podium, there's no denying the strength of the Arden team. Arden aren't afraid to take risks on new talent, and it certainly looks like it paid off today. Fantastic work. And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. It's a good result for Antoine Hubert, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
Alex, I go for Antoine Hubert. The other driver, he was spectacular today. What an overtake! Fantastic.
And now a look at the team standings. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, Prema have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way to the top. That's it for today's race. From Davide and I, it's goodbye, and we'll see you when Formula 2 returns.
Guys, what a weekend here in Austria. Oh my soul. We managed to start P4 in the feature race. We end up stealing a podium from Nick de Vries and Mick Schumacher. And starting the sprint race, we started P6. It started way back at P8, but I don't know what was going on with this Arden, guys. I think it's literally my tune that I've got for Austria. I use exactly the same tune from my F1 to the F2 cars. And even on F1, the car just hooks up around Austria. I am really, really chuffed with my tune. And I think if I really have to go into depth, that's the reason why we had such good pace here around the Red Bull Ring this weekend here, guys. As we run through the highlights of both the races. Yeah, guys, this was honestly, I did not expect to win this sprint race. I'm going to be honest with you guys. After I saw my pace at the end of the feature race with my tires going down and how hard my Arden was on the tires, I didn't think my tires were going to last for the sprint race, but they did. And that's actually, that's what astonished me, that the tires actually held. And with the tires holding, even with me pushing very, very hard at certain stages in the sprint race, I just had the pace over the other drivers. And those final two overtakes on Sean Galale and Guan Yu Zhou in the sprint race, I really had to work for those. Every lap I was just not close enough to them, especially when it came to Sean Galale in P2. Because remember, he had DRS off of Zhou, who was in first place. So when I went for Sean, every time I think I was close enough, it was still not close enough. So every lap I needed to get myself closer and closer and closer. And every lap it was so much harder with the tires starting to go off. But they were starting to go off for everybody. But you guys know the AI are so consistent when it comes to managing their tires that I really had to dig down deep. And the win in the sprint race, I did not expect it one teeny weensy bit. That was absolutely awesome, and I think this has been the most, I wouldn't say the most successful, but definitely the most fun race we've had so far this 2019 F2 season. You guys remember, every end of the season I highlight the race that was the most fun for me, well, the weekend. When it comes to F2, the weekend. When it comes to F1, the race. And so far this week it definitely was the most fun. I could attack without ever stressing about guys coming from behind. If I wanted to attack, I could attack. And if I needed to just keep pace, I could keep pace. You guys saw in the feature race, Schumacher only caught me the final 2 laps. So I had consistent pace. Just when my tires went off at the end, they went off the cliff, like they went down to the earth score. They went so far down. But guys, that has been this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying to the end. Please like, subscribe, all that nifty stuff. You guys are amazing. Share this video with your friends and I'll give you a future shout out. You guys are awesome. And yeah, share on all your social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't care where, just do it. And if you're new, please subscribe. Don't forget to ding the bell. I'll see y'all next time. Cheers!